channel. My name is Calvin, and behind me is a 2005 Honda Civic Si EP3. This is my story. Now, I've come from a very fortunate family. I have a house over my head. Both my parents work. I go to an awesome school district in Washington, and I'm very fortunate to live in a place that we can have cars. I can afford phones. We can afford all of these camera equipment, which is not that much, but for a lot of people, they can't have this kind of stuff, and I'm very thankful for what I have. Now, you may be thinking, oh, what a ricer, he thinks that he has the coolest car ever. That's not what I'm saying. This is my first car. I purchased it with all my money by myself, and besides insurance costs. But I've worked hard for this car, and I just want to explain to you what and how I've managed to afford this car. Now, as a background story, I've always been into cars from a young age. Both my brother and my dad were into cars. So that really motivated me to hang around with them. I wanted to be cool, and as a first or second grader, hanging around with the fifth grader, you're the coolest person ever. I want to be popular at that age, so that was kind of my thing. And with that, I kind of died away from cars. Fourth or fifth grade, I wanted to videotape. I wanted to be a YouTuber. I wanted to record stuff. I didn't really like cars. At that point, we didn't have any car enthusiast kind of vehicles, so I wasn't really obsessed with cars as my brother. He was always really into cars, always researching things, and he's 3 years older than me, so he got his license first and stuff like that. And around when he got his license, he was looking for a car. At that point, we didn't have too much money. He got a 2004 Ford Focus ZX3. It's a hatchback, and that costed us $3,500. It was stick shift, just a base model, something that he could play around with, not really modify, but just have a fun daily driver. And he loved it, But it broke down, and we kind of saw it coming. It had tranny issues, so that broke down on him on the highway, multiple times, and to a point where it just wasn't drivable anymore. So we sold it to a shop for maybe not even $2,000. They probably put in a new transmission and flipped it for profit, but we never saw it again. And then afterwards, he had no vehicle, he had a license, he's in high school, he wants to drive, So my dad ended up getting some cash together, the right opportunity came, and we bought a 2013 Scion FRS, or BRZ, or Toyota 86, they're all the same cars. And has 17,000 miles. And it was, at that point, it was just a perfect vehicle, perfect opportunity, and we had the money then. So my brother loved it, of course. It's a car enthusiast car. So I was like, okay, what do I want? And at that time, I was, almost 15. It was I was 14 and a half, and my dad was like, okay, you gotta start looking into cars. You're gonna be starting driver's ed soon. We want to look for a vehicle early on so we can prep for it. So I was like, okay. So I was looking around, 240s, some MR2s, maybe some Honda Fits, some trucks. I was all over the place. Some P71 police interceptors, or whatever they're called. And so I was looking at cars. I just couldn't find, nothing really stuck to me. I really like music. I'm competitive in piano. I like playing cello. So those are all pretty big instruments. I gotta be able to go to these places and be able to have fun, in my car, right? So I was like, okay, what do I really want? And one day I was working out at LA Fitness, awesome facility, and I saw this car behind me. It had the wheels that it has on right now, just little modifications. And so I was like, it really stuck out to me. So I was like, okay, I really like that. So I asked my dad, and it just happened that this guy was walking out, and we were walking in. And then, so we talked to him, we exchanged phone numbers, and that was around August time. So around early September, we went to go for our first test drive. Now, we test drove this vehicle, it had some weird flaws here and there, sticky throttle, windows weren't really rolling up correctly and stuff like that. The ride was harsh. So we're like, okay, is this what you want, Calvin? I was like, yeah, this is what I want. Like, you need some TLC, but it'll be worth it. So I was like, okay. And so at that point we didn't have too much money. We weren't really thinking that we would have found the car that early on. So around mid-October we got this car after a lot of hassling. You know, it was posted for $5,600. We brought it down to $4,500, and that was the deal. We ended up getting into a couple arguments because of the process that took so long. And on the last deal, the owner of this car brought his friend. He was very rude. They weren't from here, they're from China, so their manners weren't really up to par, and so they treated us pretty poorly, and it was not very fair for us, but you know, that's how it goes sometimes. So I ended up getting the car behind me, and I'm not a person that just lets someone buy stuff for me. You know, I'm very thankful to have a family that can afford this, so I'm very different, and I really want to buy and own the things that I have and take responsibility for it. So I decided to get a summer job. At that point I was 14 and a half, like I said, almost 15, and I can't legally get a job. So I did a couple summer jobs for my old landlord. It was landscaping. I got paid $13.33 an hour in the hot summer weather, on top of roofs, climbing ladders, cutting down trees, you know, that kind of thing. And so it was hard work, but I ended up paying this car off, and I feel a lot better. I feel more responsible for this car, like it's actually mine. I did not pay for insurance costs. That's what my parents pay for, and I'm very thankful that they can even do that. So this is what I had. This is what I ended up getting. And I've put on a lot of modifications, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. As cliche as that is, it's so true. You know, I learned how to do everything on this car. When I got this car, I didn't even know how to work on a car. I couldn't even jack it up properly. I jacked the car up for the first time in the middle of the car. But I learned how to work on this car. That's why I started this YouTube channel, because I love filming stuff. I love putting myself out there, and I love this car. And I love just making content for you guys. So if you guys can just please subscribe, I would appreciate that so much. I just recently got my license, so I'll be driving this. I've done a couple autocross events. Don't ask me how without my license, but if you're already thinking about it, you probably already know the answer. So thank you guys so much for watching. This is my story. This is my 2005 Honda Civic Si EP3. Please stay tuned for all the upcoming videos. If you have any questions, feel free to email me in the description, or feel free to comment, and I'll make some follow-up videos if you have any questions. Please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and share. See you guys in the next one. And let your passion drive you.
I have got to be strong. I know I